Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, students. Today we will start a new chapter, that is formation of a company. Okay, chapter number 7, formation of a company. In chapter number 2, we learnt about the various forms of organizations. I hope you all remember. We learnt about sole tradership, partnership, joint stock companies, cooperative society, etc. We learnt about the advantages and disadvantages of each form of organization. Okay. So here in this chapter, we are studying about the formation of a joint stock company. Okay, or formation of a company. Now to start a business, huge investment is required. Okay, to start a business, large amount of money is required. Okay, with huge investment, the element of risk is also increased. Okay, where the amount invested in the business is high, then the risk is also high. Okay, that is why most of the business firms prefer the company form of organization. Why is that? Because the risk here is distributed among many people. Okay, that is why business firms prefer the company form of organization, as the risk is distributed among many people here. Okay. So here we will study about the stages or steps involved in the formation of a company. Okay. There are three important stages or three distinct stages or steps in the formation of a company. First one is promotion, second incorporation, third subscription of capital. Okay, promotion, incorporation and subscription of capital. Now what is promotion? Promotion is the first stage in the formation of a company. Okay, promotion involves starting a business idea. Okay, conceiving a business idea and bringing it into action. That is promotion. Okay, promotion begins with somebody having discovered a potential business idea. Okay, and these people are called promoters. Any person or a group of persons who have conceived an idea or discovered an opportunity for business, they are called as promoters of the company. Okay, in other words, we can say a promoter is the one who undertakes to form a company with reference to a given project. Okay, so a promoter is the person who starts the business idea and brings it into action. Okay, that is a promoter. Okay. As per section 69, a promoter is a person whose name has been mentioned in the prospectus of the company. Okay, who is identified by the company as the promoter. Okay, promoter is the one who has control over the affairs of the company, and also he is the one according to whose instructions the board of directors of the company has to act. Okay, so as per section 69, a promoter is a person whose name has been mentioned in the prospectus of the company, who has control over the affairs of the company, and who has to according to whose advice the board of directors of the company has to act. Okay, this is about a promoter. Next one is the functions of the promoter. First one is identification of business opportunity. Okay, identification of business opportunity. The first step, the first activity of a promoter is to conceive an idea or to identify a business opportunity. This can be either to produce a new product or to start a service. Okay, this is the first step, that is identifying a business opportunity. Next one is feasibility studies. The next step is to analyze the idea. Okay, whether it is profitable, if it is converted into a real project. Okay, so the next step is to study the feasibility. Now every business idea may not be profitable. Okay, every business idea may not be profitable if it is taken into action. Okay, the promoters have to make a detailed feasibility study to understand the profitability of the business idea or business opportunity. Okay, for this specialists like chartered accountants, engineers, etc. are hired so that they can examine whether the business opportunity can be profitable or not. Okay, so under feasibility studies there are 3 points here: technical feasibility, financial feasibility, and economic feasibility. First one, technological feasibility. Sometimes a business opportunity, it may be good, but technically it may not be possible to execute. Okay, some business ideas may sound good, but technically it is not possible to execute it because the raw materials may not be available in that area. Okay, or the technology required for that business opportunity or idea may not be easily available. Okay, next one is the financial feasibility. Now, every business activity requires money, requires capital, right? So, the promoters, they have to make an estimate of the capital or money required for the business opportunity. If they feel that the project is too expensive, okay, if the money required for the project cannot be easily arranged, then they have to give up. Okay, they have to find alternative business opportunity. Okay, this is financial feasibility. Next one is economic feasibility. Sometimes what happens is the project will be technically and financially it will be feasible, okay, but the chance of it being profitable is very less. Okay, in such cases the idea has to be given up. For this purpose the promoters take the help of experts to conduct a proper study. Okay, this is about economic feasibility. The next step is name approval. Okay, first one is that is functions of a promoter. First one is identifying a business opportunity. Second one is feasibility studies. Third one is name approval. Now, after deciding on the business opportunity, the promoters have to select a name for it. Okay, they have to select the name and submit an application to the registrar of companies of the state where they are operating. Okay, for its approval. The name must be approved. If another company exists with the same name, then they have to change it. Okay, it is preferred to have a different name. Next one is fixing up signatories to the memorandum of association. The promoters have to decide about the members who will be signing the memorandum of association of the company. Usually it is the directors of the company. Okay, their written consent to act as directors in the company is very essential. Okay, so they have to decide about who will be signing the memorandum of association. Usually it is the directors of the company. Next one is appointment of professionals. Now, for this purpose, they will require professionals and experts such as auditors, chartered accountants, engineers, bankers, etc. Okay, these are appointed by the promoters to assist them in preparing all the documents which are required for the formation of a company. Okay. Next one, that is the last one, is preparation of necessary documents. Now, to form a company, many documents are required. There are many legal requirements. So, the promoter has to take steps to prepare all these legal documents which have to be submitted to the registrar of companies to get the company registered. Okay. So, let's see which are the documents required to be submitted. First one is memorandum of association. Okay, this is the first document. What is memorandum of association? It is the document which defines all the objectives of the company. Okay, all the objectives of the company have to be mentioned in the memorandum of association. So according to the Companies Act 2016, memorandum means memorandum of association of a company has to be altered from time to time. Okay, the memorandum of association consists of various clauses. The first one is the name clause. Okay, this one has been missed out in the slide. Okay, you have to add this one. First one is the name clause. This clause consists the name of the company. Okay, next one is registered office clause. This clause consists the name of the state in which the business is operating. Okay, it consists the name of the state in which the registered office of the company is situated. Okay, next one is objects clause. It defines the purpose or objective for which the company has been formed. Okay, next one is the liability clause. This is the clause which limits the liability of the members to the amount unpaid on the shares owned by them. Okay, it is the clause which shows that the liability of the members is only to the extent of the shares which is unpaid by them. Okay, next one is the capital clause. This clause specifies the maximum capital which the company has to raise by issuing shares. Okay, the next document is Articles of Association. First one is Memorandum of Association. Second one is Article of Association. These are the rules regarding the internal management of the company. Regarding the management of the company, all the rules are given in the Articles of Association. Okay. Next one, consent of proposed direction. This is a written consent of each person named as the director, showing that they agree to act as the director of the company. Okay, this is the written consent of each person, that is each director. Next one is the agreement. This is the agreement which the company proposes to enter with any person who is appointed as its managing director. Okay, this is the agreement which the company does with the managing director of the company. Okay, next one is the statutory declaration. It is the declaration which shows or which states all the legal requirements regarding registration of the company. Okay, it is the declaration stating that all the legal requirements which are required for registration have been done. Okay, this statement has to be signed by a chartered accountant or a cost accountant. Okay, this statement shows that all the legal requirements which are required for the formation of company are done by the company. Okay, it has to be signed either by a chartered accountant or a cost accountant. Last one is the receipt of payment of fee. Now, along with all the above documents which I have already explained, necessary fees has to be paid for the registration of the company. Okay, that is receipt of payment of fee. Okay, next one is incorporation. The next step in formation of a company is incorporation. Now, after completing all the formalities, the promoters will make an application for the incorporation of the company. Okay, this application has to be filed with the registrar of companies of the state in which the registered office of the company is situated. Okay, the application has to be filed with the registrar of companies. It has to be accompanied with certain documents. Okay, the documents are the memorandum of association, articles of association, the consent of the director, agreement, the statutory declaration, etc. Okay. This is about the second step, that is incorporation of the company. The last step, okay, that is capital subscription. The next step is capital subscription. Okay. A company can require the company can raise the required money or the funds from the public either by issue of shares or by issue of debentures. Okay. For this it has to issue a prospectus. What is a prospectus? It is an invitation to the public to subscribe to the capital of the company. Okay. Now here these are the various steps involved in capital subscription. First one is SEBI approval. They have to acquire approval from the SEBI. Okay. Before going ahead with the raising of funds from the public, they have to get approval from SEBI. SEBI is Securities and Exchange Board of India. Only if they get approval of SEBI, they can go forward. Okay. A company which invites funds from the public, it has to give all the information about the company. It has to disclose all the relevant information and must not hide anything from the public. Okay. Next one is filing of prospectus. A copy of the prospectus has to be filed with the registrar of companies. Okay. Prospectus is an invitation to the public to apply for the shares and debentures of the company. Okay. So this prospectus has to be filed with the registrar of companies. Next one is appointment of bankers, brokers and underwriters. For raising funds, the company requires all these specialists, that is bankers, brokers and underwriters. The application of money has to be received by the bankers of the company. What the brokers do, they try to sell the shares of the company. Okay. Now underwriters may not be necessarily appointed. Only if the company does not get good public response, only then underwriters are appointed. Okay. Next one is minimum subscription. What is minimum subscription? Now when the company starts a business, it has to have certain resources or certain amount of capital, right? So without that they cannot go forward. So a company has to have minimum subscription. Okay, it is provided that the company must receive applications for a certain minimum number of shares. Okay, if they have to go ahead with allotment of shares, they have to have minimum subscription. Okay, this is called minimum subscription. Next one is application to the stock exchange. Application has to be done to at least one stock exchange for permission to deal with the shares and debentures of the company. Okay, if the permission is not given before 10 weeks from the date of the closure of subscription list, then this will become void. Only if they get application, that is only if they get approval from the stock exchange, only then they can go forward with issuing shares and debentures. Next one is allotment of shares. Now till the time the shares are allotted to the public, the application money which is received by the public has to be kept in a separate bank account. It should not be used by the company. Okay. Till the time shares are allotted to the public, the money which is acquired from the public as application for the application purpose, that should not be used by the company. It has to be kept in a separate bank account. So these are the various steps involved in capital subscription. Okay. So there are three important stages in the formation of a company, that is the three important stages in the formation of a company, that is promotion of a company, incorporation of a company, and capital subscription. Okay, so here we come to the end of this chapter. Okay, that's all for today, students. Assalamu alaikum.